Wasser wird eingesetzt. Liebe Pressevertreter, bitte dokumentiert diesen Einsatz.
Is this the best stuff we have on that day?
Yeah, we only had one crew out there in Rostock. You know, the summit hadn't even begun yet.
Let me hear it with the commentary I wrote. Frank?
Frank, let's go.
It was an auspicious start to the G8 summit last Saturday when rioting broke out on the streets of Rostock at the anti-G8 rally. Masked protesters hurled rocks, bottles and sticks at riot police and set light to several vehicles. Their objective was to block all roads leading to the Baltic resort of Heiligen Dam, where the G8 summit was taking place. Thousands of anti-globalization protesters walked through forests, over crop fields and past German police, who used water cannons and pepper spray in an attempt to impede the demonstrators' progress. The Block 8 was successful. World leaders were forced to fly in by helicopter or travel by boat to reach the summit. Once there, they were shielded from demonstrators by a 12-kilometer-long security fence topped with barbed wire. Despite the disruption, the 8 leaders, undisturbed by the events around them, met to discuss key issues: climate control, Africa, and trade. It was business as usual.
What are our live cameras doing right now?
Unit 1 and 2 are at the fence in the middle of an interview. Camera 3 is at the concert and...
Give me 1 and 2.
Without improving trade, nothing will change in Africa. And there's no reason for there to be another G8. The deals on debt and aid fell way too short of what is needed to achieve global poverty reduction targets.
Mike, give me the highlights of the concert.
From here.
Okay, here we go.
What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Stand up for your rights.
Mike, show me the press conference.
Okay.
We have been impoverished by history, a history that has its roots in part in Berlin in 1884, when the European powers carved up the continent and left us with the mess that we currently have.
Further
So
on.
what we want to say, we have not come here with a begging bowl to ask for charity. We have come here to ask for justice.
What did Bono say?
It's not okay to break a promise to the world's poor. So it's about us, I think. It's about our values, and do we have any? And at a time...
I haven't seen Eunice yet. Show me.
It's long.
Let me see it. He's smart.
We got busy with the war on terrorism. The attention of the leaders, resources of the nations, got into something else rather than concentrating on achieving the boldest decision mankind ever took on this planet, Millennium Development Goals. So this summit...
He's going on and on about MDGs. No one knows what they are.
I don't agree, Rhonda. The man is right on the money about bringing the Millennium Goals back into the focus.
Millennium Goals are a dead horse. It's 2007. Not one government has even remotely started to do what they need to do by 2015.
Even more of a reason we should report on their half-time status.
This is not about MDGs. This is about power. What it is, who has it, who doesn't. No one knows what MDGs are because not enough people with power cared. Even I don't care anymore.
Tell me, Rhonda, who would we really have to convince that MDGs are newsworthy? No one. We put it on the news, it is news. We make it news. Now, that is power.
Fact is, no one cares about dying children anymore. Where are you on poverty reduction, Hank?
I want to go with this guy, Pendo. He's a refugee from Sudan. You can understand his English.
I had to live in a camp of at least 100,000 refugees, other refugees from different countries. To feed us, the United Nations gave us a cup of beans that was supposed to last each person about 14 days.
He would be our displaced by war person who we could cut with starving kids, our Star AIDS guys, real sick ones. And then I thought we could continue with feed people. Mouse, a guy named Mouse.
Yeah. The landmine people or the amputees hobbling about in Sierra Leone? Where do I find that? Is that in the Diamond War file, or where is it?
No, what you want is worms in the feet. They're in the Uganda file, but you can't understand the guy.
They get them from water, and not water worms.
Can you dub him, Frank?
You want a voiceover?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, guys, it looks like the big shots are arriving at the hotel. New York will take over live. Anyone who wants to can take a break in the lounge.
Let's finish
Just confirmed. One's on Bush, two's on Blair.
Frank, the line is, they get them from the water and there's no water that doesn't have worms.
Oh, yeah, guinea worms.
I can do African, sort of.
Yeah, Frank, forget the accent. Just act it. Sad and concerned, that sort of thing.
They get them from the water, and all the water has worms.
Good. Good. Yeah. Perfect. Thanks, Frank.
I can do African.
They all gone. We can relax.
Wow. I can. You can see me?
And they can see us too!
My name is Musa, not Mouse. Musa? The mouse? Do I look like Mickey Mouse?
You're having fun, girls. But it's making me sad to appear in the same pessimistic context all the time. Would you want to watch us?
These guys who shuffle us around all the time, these...
Editors. They are called editors.
Yes, them. I'm sure they are full of the best intentions. They make us look like we don't have any ideas or skill of our own.
You are right. Like you, Pendo. Why don't they let you talk about how you became an engineer after the camp? If we want to reach people, we can't be just bad news.
Let's not waste our time. They'll be back soon.
Okay, let's hear some good news for a change. Let me find the microcredit file.
So hi, what's a microcredit?
Let us get someone more competent to explain this to us and to you.
Microfinance has proved its value in many countries as a weapon against poverty and hunger.
The answer to poverty did not come from a Harvard Business School think tank. It came from Bangladesh.
I resigned from my teaching job in an American university, came back to Bangladesh. It was a devastated country at that time. People were dying of hunger. And you feel terrible teaching grand theories of economics and people dying outside. So I thought I can do something. I can go out of the classroom, go to the next village, and I see if I can be useful to one single person.
One day in 1976, Muhammad Yunus stopped at a village marketplace to ask a woman making a straw stool why she was not in business for herself. The woman explained to Yunus that she could never pay the loan sharks enough to get ahead.
Then I realized that the problem is a big one in the village. But the solution is so simple. All I have to do is to give this $27 to 42 people, and they will be free. Then the question that came to my mind, if you can make so many people so happy, why shouldn't you do more of it? So I wanted to do more of it. And one way I thought I could do it, go to the bank, ask them to lend money to the poor people, such a small amount of money. But the bank refused it. So finally, after several months of trying around, trying to talk to the big officials at the bank, I offered myself as a guarantor. I said, I'll sign all your papers. I take the risk, and you give the money. Finally, they agreed. And I took the money and made it very simple rules, and it worked. People were paying back 100%. So that was the beginning of what we now call microcredit.
The idea was perfect for the internet.
Sites started to show up all over the place.
Now, at a click, borrowers and lenders could find each other.
Pendo, can you bring up some of the lenders?
Corporations aren't doing it fast enough.
Why wait for them?
I give because I can.
Because it's the right thing to do.
Because there is a need.
Because they are my neighbors.
I like to help people.
Simple as that.
You can change a life without the assistance of a government.
I want to show you something. Just look over Berlin alone. Take the new main station over there.
This gentleman, Christoph, needed a way to reach his daughter, Sabina, who had dropped out of high school. I needed a video camera to record the health instructions given to the women in my village. That loan changed so many lives. Now women all over Senegal who have never seen a doctor know how to check themselves for symptoms. Sabina, she was so inspired by these ladies that she decided to go back to school.
Peter and his wife were expecting their first child when they read about our problem. In my village, we only have one motorbike for all our transportation needs, and we have no doctor. So we have to drive our sick ones and expectant mothers to the next hospital, which is far away. I needed a $150 loan to repair the bike. When Peter read that I was putting 9-month pregnant women on the back of a motorbike, he wasted no time loaning the full amount to me right away.
When my husband had a heart attack and couldn't work anymore, we had no choice. We were forced to move to the squatters' community outside of Manila. That's where the trash dumps are. I had to make money for my girls, so I asked for a loan to start a flower stand. Lisa loaned it to me. I paid her back and sent my first daughter to school that same year. I borrowed again and opened a bigger store. Next year, I would send my second and third daughter to school. Things are so much better now. Thank you, Lisa.
I needed $200 to restore my shoe shop and feed my girls. My friend Martha here read about the floods in my country and wanted to find a way to help. She loaned me the money to restock my damaged store. When I repaid my loan, she decided to become my partner. So now she is part of my family and sends my girls pictures of all the latest styles.
Let us be clear. Microfinance is not charity. It is a recognition that poor people are the solution, not the problem.
Wait, guys, I hear something. They're coming back.
They're actually
Hey, you. Welcome back. Yes, you, we have a question. Do you want to be the change you want to see in the world or not?
He just asked you a simple question.
Do you want to be the change you want to see in the world or not?
I wanted to be that change.
And so did I.
And so did I.
Who cut this?
No, I get it wrong.
Look at us and listen to us.
For once.
We know we don't have your attention for very long.
You never have time for anything.
Your lives are too busy. You might not have noticed, but global partnership already works on a very direct level.
Person
to person.
Person
to person.
to person.
That woman helps that man. And that man helps that woman. And eventually, that makes a web.
50 million people are involved today in microcredits.
In loaning and lending money.
So that projects can be undertaken
that otherwise would not get financed.
Lives can be lifted out of misery and oblivion. This shows that on an individual level, global solidarity exists and works and changes things.
Yes, this is in our reach.
If all the countries that signed the Millennium Goals fulfill their promises and their obligations,
help us and demand that from your governments.
In your and our lifetime,
extreme poverty and inequality
can be eliminated.
I would go with this. Forget the hell what we've been cutting.
Yeah, this is brilliant.
It's your call.
World leaders have promised to help poor people get out of poverty. This is a good time to remind the world leaders, keep the promise.
We're going on air with this.
Let's get this party started.
Keep the promise.
Keep the promise.
Keep the promise.
Tekeleza ahadi.
Keep the promise.
Apna vada nibhaiye.
Keep the promise. Keep the promise.
Hade belofte.
Keep the promise. Mantén la promesa. Keep the promise. Oh.
Keep the promise.